about 23 minutes on that one. So we're going to see if they'll keep that in place. I keep looking over. We have secondary computer right next to this talking about the updates from the National Weather Service. So we have that at our fingertips to make sure that we are keeping everybody updated. But I think that the tornado warning that is still in Grimes County, moving into Montgomery, and then eventually moving into Walker County, that we need to be keeping the closest eye out on. So I want to get back to our lightning count, and I'm actually going to turn on how many strikes we have. So if you remember, at peak, we had about 100 strikes within about a 15-minute time span. Right now, we have 78. So it's still in that range of, yes, there's a lot of lightning going on. And when we see that lightning count start to increase, you know that the storm is intensifying. Also with those winds. And I mean, we're seeing a lot of it and very, very heavy rain. So if I take off the lightning count and zoom you in, when you see these purple colors on your screen, that's showing blinding rain, meaning you can't drive through it. Well, you can't see through it at least. I mean, your car could make it through, but it's not recommended to be outside if you are under this tornado warning. And Shingleton, it looks like you're right on the edge now. It's the folks that are out ahead of it. And let's do another track so that you can know, okay, I'm not under the tornado warning, but I need to make sure that I'm staying aware. And Huntsville, I mean, the outer edge of this line of storms is going to be knocking on your doorstep within the next 4 to 5 minutes. So it looks like National Weather Service saying that they are going to likely extend this tornado warning that we're looking at right now for Grimes, Walker, as well as Montgomery counties, saying, and it does look like, just like what I was saying a minute ago, that this is likely going to include Huntsville. As you can see, our track says that the heavy rain is going to be arriving very, very shortly. As for the one down near Brenham, well, you can see that there's still a lot of heavy rain, but if we take you out to our velocity scan, the winds have decreased a bit. So I'm going to basically put a lot of eyes on this tornado warning over here. But again, if you're just joining us, thank you so much. And I want to take you out to a loop, the big picture loop, because there's been a lot going on this morning. We had a severe thunderstorm watch, counties to the north. Now there's a tornado watch, and that does include Harris County and include Houston. That's because this line, you can see it right here, of showers and storms is going to be kicking out to the east. So we saw that that watch does continue until 3 o'clock, and it looks like they're just going to be dropping the update to the tornado warning right here. So we'll have details on that as soon as it does. But it's important to note that if you are under a tornado warning, and here you go, the one that's extended toward Huntsville goes until 9:45. So that means we do have another about 30 plus minutes of this warning. The good news is it likely is going to be kicking out of Grimes County, I'd say within the next 10-15 minutes. So folks that are in Ronan's Prairie, we were talking about how you need to be in your safe place, and the threat for any rotation over you has now kicked off to the east. So you'll be in the clear within the next 20 minutes. Folks that are not out toward Huntsville, we have Pine Hill. This rotation is moving toward you as we speak, and it's moving at 40 miles per hour. That means quickly. I mean, that means that you don't have time to get outside at all. You need to be taking your safe place right now, because not only are we seeing the chance for rotation, that's going to be all the spots shaded in green here, but also some small hail. So when we see this hail core just to the east of Shiro and just to the west of Goshen there, that's going to be the most intense spot of this cell. Most intense in the rain as well. Here's another area of purple that we're seeing, showing some of the heaviest rain. And also, like we said, hail, it would be at about a quarter size. So once again, this tornado warning, the initial one, excuse me, is set to expire in about 3 minutes. And then it's going to be all eyes on this secondary one. And we do continue with this tornado warning moving toward Brenham. That's going to expire within the next 20 minutes as well. So I just want to take you out to reflectivity and it's showing that heavy rain. So I'm going to just put it on a lapse super quick. Just stick with me, guys, while we put that on. But we are looking at, you know, a lot going on. Heavy rain associated with this initial line of storms, all thanks to a cold front. Now, there's a lot that will happen on the back end, meaning drying air and cooling, but right now temps are up. I mean, we've been in the 70s all morning long, and that's just adding fuel to the fire, basically. When the atmosphere is at a point where it can rapidly intensify, it's moving into warmer air, that creates instability in the atmosphere, and that's why we're seeing these tornado warnings rather. Again, nothing confirmed, this is all radar indicated, but just to note that it's why we're seeing the warnings extend and continue to move east, and that's why there is a tornado watch that does include Houston and Harris County. So we just want you guys to know that, hey, it's just cloudy outside. I have time to go run to the grocery store. Well, you need to be keeping an eye on the radar, because even if you are not necessarily in the path of some of these tornado warnings, that doesn't mean that you couldn't see something move up quickly. But right now, the only two that we have, and I'm going to circle them for you because there's a lot of colors, but in Brenham as well as in Huntsville right now, or almost to Huntsville, we're seeing that tornado warning extend there. So let's get back down to our latest radar scan. And well, thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Fox 26. We have a lot going on across the Houston area right now. I'm going to take you guys out to a wide view just to let you know exactly what we are seeing and turn our lightning count on. So there's a cold front making its way across our area as we speak. 2 tornado warnings, and there's 5 of our counties included in them. And I'll get down to the nitty-gritty in one second, but I want to let you know that there is now a tornado watch. That's going to be that red maroon color that you're seeing on your screen. And you're like, oh, it goes all the way down to Houston. Yes, it does. That tornado watch is in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So this line of storms, and I'll put it on a little bit of a time loop for you here, is marching toward the east and northeast. So the areas that we are seeing, the 2 tornado warnings included in Walker, Montgomery, and Grimes County. Now you can see the area that has the chance for rotation is going to be where all of these lightning strikes are. And that's where the most intense part of the storm is. I'm going to take off the lightning for you just so you can see where the heaviest rain is. Just to the east of Shuro here, south of Loma, and then we have Goshen. So it's very important to note that if I'm naming any city that you live in or you have family or friends in, you need to tell them to go to their safe place. The thing with this storm is now it's knocking on the door of Huntsville. But if I actually take a track out, there are so many other cities that are under this tornado warning. And we have New Waverly. Even though you're not necessarily seeing a lot of the rain right now, it's moving towards you. And Huntsville, you need to get to your safe place right now. We are seeing some very, very strong winds. And here we go with our velocity scan. So if you are just joining us, we've been seeing some pretty strong winds embedded within these storms. So we're looking for greens and reds close to each other, but the brightest greens and reds are going to be showing the strongest sustained winds. And right now we're looking at anywhere from 28 to 40 mile per hour winds. That's strong. And that's why we are saying you need to get to your safe place at this time. Huntsville, no, you can see the rotation is still, let me grab a ruler and just see how far it is, still about 15 miles from you, but that doesn't mean that it's not moving quickly. I mean, we talked about how it's moving at 40 miles per hour, and we are still monitoring the secondary now tornado warning in Austin as well as Washington counties. So 2 counties, it's actually right on the border here from Greenvine to Wesley, Shelby. It looks like you're in the clear, but you can see the radar just updated. We get scans every several minutes, so it's really great that we are giving you the latest information, but these winds are very strong as well. Now, I want to just zoom out and show you that not only are we monitoring the gusty winds, but also the chance for some hail. Doesn't look like there's any hail in the system in Brenham, but down by Goshen, yes, there is. And we are seeing this tornado warning in effect until 9:45. So we still have some time and we're going to be here with you. Want to let you know that quarter-sized hail is possible. So think about an inch in diameter. And that's not something you want to be outside in. So we're going to take you back to the reflectivity, and I want to turn the lightning on because that's a way of how we know if a storm is intensifying or if it's de-intensifying. And the storm cell down near Brenham, just zoom in for you close, only has about 20 lightning strikes at this time. So it looks like it's losing a bit of its steam. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do let this tornado warning officially expire at 9:30. But it's this one up here that's moving into Walker County right now. Montgomery, I'd say Grimes County, it'll probably be out of this tornado warning within the next 10 minutes. But 77 strikes, there you go. And folks, even if you don't have a warning overhead, but you are under a watch, you need to stay vigilant today. It's important to note that it's Super Bowl Sunday. Folks are going to be out and about. They have plans. They need to go shopping. They need to drive to a friend's house that's maybe up north. Maybe they have a lake house up near one of these areas that's under a tornado warning. And it's not something that you want to be out in at all. We ask, if you live in Huntsville to New Waverly, that you're taking your safe place right now, as we're not only seeing the lightning count start to increase, but also the wind speeds. And it looks like we just got another update on the radar here. There you go. And it's showing about 50-mile-per-hour winds near Goshen. So you need to make sure that you are getting to your safe place, especially if you live on any of the streets that are under this bright red, because that's likely where we are seeing those strong winds at this time. So want to mention that we still have 2 tornado warnings. Again, we got to cover both of them because these are folks that need to make sure that they know exactly what's overhead. Now, you see here, there's a tornado warning here, one up toward Huntsville, but Navasota, there's no warning over, just under the watch. Well, we saw some rain move through earlier today. So we talk about instability in the atmosphere. A lot going on up there, and it's basically fuel to the fire that could make these storms start to really pick up some speed. Well, they've already seen that rain, and that's why we haven't seen any, looks like, warnings down there, but there is the potential for it. Now, this is something that we have. You can see that the polygon is flashing in purple right now. So this is coming down from our friends at Barron saying that we are actually, they're saying confirmed tornado warning, and it does look like near Richards, Texas. So you see Richards here, National Weather Service just saying that they did get a report of a brief tornado that occurred near Richards, Texas. Now, we talked about Richards saying that they needed to be in their safe place, and that's exactly what we were seeing when those winds, those greens and reds that we show on our velocity scan were really close together. Well, that's when we could be seeing really tight rotation. But now, so there are reports that there was a tornado. Again, the National Weather Service will have to go out and see if there was any damage, but they won't go out probably until tomorrow because they need to make sure that the area is completely cleared and that nobody else is going to be injured while they're out there. And not saying that anybody was, just the possibility of that if there was any damage. But I want to take you back out to, here we go, we just got a new scan of the radar for these winds here. So if we take you down, we are at Goshen. You can see Bath over here, Pine Hill. You're likely going to be seeing these winds starting to pick up. Now, you remember at last check, we were seeing 50-mile-per-hour sustained winds. It's dropped just a bit to anywhere from 34 to 41, but that doesn't mean that it's really decreasing because we've kind of seen with each new scan, it's gone up a little bit and it's gone down. So important to note that we are continuing this tornado warning until 9:45, getting reports from the National Weather Service as we speak. Now, what they are saying is that there is the potential for damaging wind gusts from any rotation, as well as the chance for quarter-sized hail. So you know exactly what a quarter is. That's not going to be good for your car or anybody to be outside. So that's why we ask that you take your safe place if you are under this tornado warning. Again, that we have had reports from the National Weather Service of that. Now, it does look like I'm getting news from the National Weather Service that the tornado warning that we're monitoring to the south down near Brenham, okay, looks like winds are starting to pick up just a bit, that they are going to keep it in effect for the next 7 minutes. Now, they haven't said anything about extending it, and you know, we've been watching this and it looks like the winds really dropping. You can see the comparison here, 13 to 25 mile per hour winds, rather than the other one that we were looking at, winds up to about 50. So if you live in Brenham, now is the time to be in your safe place. This is the tornado warning that goes until 9:30 in Washington and Austin counties, but it's going to be this area right here, and I can actually draw a little circle for you right there. That's the area that if there was rotation, that's exactly where it would be. Now, these are moving quickly. I mean, every time we come down to the other tornado warning, it is showing that it continues to move off to the east. So let's draw out a track here from some of the heaviest rain. Moving to the north and east at 40 miles per hour. So Brenham, again, it is knocking on your door at this time. And I'm just going to stop to take a quick sip of water. But you need to make sure that you are in your safe place in Brenham, Prairie Hill as well. Sandy Hill, you can see you're not in the tornado warned area, but it could be moving toward you. Now, this is going to be our hail tracker. And I'm sorry that there's a lot of colors, but I just want to make sure everybody is still up to knowing that what's going on. But we could be seeing quarter-sized hail just to the south of Navasota. That would be just to the east of 6 there, and then making its way toward Huntsville. We have Goshen, Galilee, Pine Hill. Important to note. And again, there's a lot going on, but what I like to do is just take a second and look at a wide picture, because we have some spots that are in the clear, like we call it. College Station, Bryan, you should be in the clear from the chance for any tornadoes or rotation. Maybe some lingering showers on the back end of this line. But folks that need to be vigilant, going to be Livingston to Shepherd. This is where likely the tornado warned area that we're seeing here is going to be moving. Now, again, is it going to hold? Well, that's something that I'll be keeping track of for you. But this is where it is heading. So even though Livingston, Shepherd, you are not under a tornado warning, you need to know that this could be knocking on your door. But I want to just show you what we call a hook echo, or when the storm's really starting to wrap up. And you can see kind of right here how it does one of these, looks like a backwards hook. That's what we need to be keeping a very close eye out for, because, okay, here we go. These are probably the strongest winds that we have seen so far this morning. Yeah, right around 49 to 46 miles per hour. So Bath, you need to be in your safe place at this time. It is very, very important, because we are seeing these winds here really starting to wrap up, and it's tight. And when we see that tight rotation, that's where we do have the potential for any of that rotation and potentially storm damage. So I want to just zoom back out, because coming in from the National Weather Service, here we go. Okay, that system that's in Brenham right now, a tornado warning now has been extended. It's technically a new warning because you can see the polygon has moved out toward Navasota, and I'm seeing some winds starting to wrap up near Navasota as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. But I want to let you know that this new tornado warning in Washington County, and now it includes Waller County, just a small portion of it, and a little bit of Austin, but Austin County is going to be in the clear here any minute. But that's extending out to the north and east until 10 o'clock this morning. Now let's talk about these strong winds, and you can see them at anywhere from 29 to about 30 miles per hour. So all in all, yeah, it still has some punch to it. So again, tornado warning radar indicated. We have had no reports of anything on the ground, But take a look at this max hail size, about a 3/4 of an inch or higher. So you need to take cover now. And again, this is going to be near Brenham, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to get you back out to our reflectivity, that heavy rain. And actually, while I'm here, I'm going to see if we can just pop off these tornado and severe thunderstorm watches. There we go. Yeah, just so you can actually see what's beneath these. So again, there's still a tornado watch in effect. I just turned it off on the layer so that we can get a better picture of everything that's going on. So right now there are technically 3 tornado warnings. One of them is expiring in 2 minutes. So really, let's talk about the 2. We have one near Brenham, and it is over Brenham right now. So if you live in Brenham and you are watching us here at Fox 26, you need to go to your safe place. Also, Huntsville. I mean, we're talking about very strong winds up here. This tornado warning is still including Walker, Grimes, as well as Montgomery counties. But you can see that Grimes, you'll be in the clear, and that will be out of your area rather soon. But let's talk about the velocity scan, because right over Bath, we have seen some very, very strong winds. And Denise, we've been talking about this all morning, that it is a Fox 26 storm alert day.
That's right.
And for good reason. I mean, we're seeing these tornado warnings continue, expanding off to the east just because of how punchy the atmosphere is. There's a lot going on, and now a tornado watch that does include Harris County until 3 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right, and we've just gotten some information from the National Weather Service that a confirmed tornado was located 13 miles north of Montgomery or 14 miles southwest of Huntsville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. And so Allison has really been keeping a close watch on these areas. You know, as we know, there's other counties that have been under the tornado warning, a lot of counties, in fact. So what's the situation right now? Which ones have cleared?
Great question. So the good news is, if you live in Richards, and that is where that tornado was actually said to have moved over, they're not seeing much in the way of rotation now. But if I take you out to our reflectivity, guess what? You might be in a lull of the precipitation at this time, but take a look at this cell that is going to be moving right into your area. No, it's not showing a tornado warning, but just moments ago, so that is in Grimes County, there is now a severe thunderstorm warning for Grimes, Montgomery, as well as Walker. So the tornado warning is talking about any rotation. The severe thunderstorm warning is mentioning that we could be seeing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and nickel-sized hail is possible on top of the heavy rain. I mean, you can see that this rain is falling at a rate of likely 1 to 2 inches per hour. Now, when we say that, it means if it were to just sit overhead, that's how much rain you would get. It's moving at 40 miles per hour. So you're not going to be seeing that much rain, but it's blinding at times, especially these spots that are shaded in purple. So just to the east of Navasota there and into Whitehall. But Brenham, I want to take you down to the tornado warning that has been extended until 10 o'clock. So here we go, taking you into our velocity scan and showing you just how strong these winds are. Anywhere from 16 to about 32 miles per hour. And we are seeing a lot of these strong winds, again, down here. Now I'm going to clear this out, zoom out, and let you know that in the severe thunderstorm warning, just to the north of Yarborough, we're also seeing some winds now at about 28 to 23 miles per hour. So that's probably why they haven't necessarily put in a tornado. Mention that this tornado warning that's over Bath as we speak, making its way toward Pine Hill and likely skirting just to the south of Huntsville. And guess what? That's over the I-45 corridor. We are monitoring some very, very strong winds. And so where we see the brightest reds are going to be the strongest winds. Now, I want to mention that this 57 mile per hour wind is sustained. That is the strongest wind speed that we have reported on so far this morning. That's going to be very strong and something that you need to get to your safe place at this time. If you live in Pine Hill, you live in Bath, you live in Huntsville, you live in Moore Grove, Brando, New Waverly, any of these cities near them, or you have family or friends that do, they need to go into a room with no windows, no doors, because that actually decreases your chance of any potential flying debris getting to you. So that's why we ask. It can be a bathroom, it can be a doorway, bathtub is going to be best. And if you can, put something soft over your head like a pillow. And the good news is, yes, we're on the air right now, but you can take us on your Fox 26 weather app. We will be live, even the news app, so that you can get away from your TV that's likely near a window. So again, 59 miles per hour right here. This is the area just to the northeast of Bath that you need to be taking cover. Look at all these streets down here, cul-de-sacs, likely families that are there. You do not need to be outside at all during this time, as we are monitoring some very strong winds. So it does look like we are getting reports from the National Weather Service that, again, saying that there was a report of a brief tornado that touched down near Richards, Texas. Now, we can actually go back, and I'm not going to do that at this time, but we were talking about exactly where these bright reds and greens that you're seeing right here on the big portion of your screen were. And guess what? Winds are even stronger at this time. So it's important that you are going to be getting into your safe place and noting, okay, here we go. I have some street names for you. So I'm going to take it back out to reflectivity. We have Bath Lane, we have Bowdoin Road, that goes all the way up Robinson Creek Road, as well as Stubblefield Lake Road. That's all near Bath. Then we have 222. That's going to be important to note. And then Pine Hill, we have Veterans Memorial Parkway. And then here we go, I-45. That's where this is going to be moving over. So we talk about making sure that you're in your safe place, and we mean it, as there's going to be a lot more weather heading toward you. So again, 2 active tornado warnings, and I want to let you know that Grimes County, you are now out of the tornado warning, just like I said was going to happen, as the polygon, it's going to be this red polygon here that includes Huntsville, now is only in excuse me, 2 counties. I'd say Montgomery, you'll also probably see that cleared within the next 10 minutes. Well, the tornado warning does go for another 10 minutes. I haven't heard word on if they're going to be extending it, but something that I will be looking out for. And I'm going to just take another quick sip of water here. So why don't I do some more tracks for you, because it's important to note who's in the clear. College Station, Madisonville, you're in the clear. And even Columbus, I'd say down toward Sealy as well. But who is not are folks that are basically in the direct line of this cell in particular. This is the strongest storm that we are monitoring right now across the viewing area. So that includes Phillips, Pine Valley, Arizona, Oakhurst, Stanley. No, you're probably saying, hey, I'm not in a tornado warning yet. But guess what? We've been seeing these cells move toward the east and a bit northeast at 40 miles per hour. So we have a lot going on within that cell. Now let's take you down to the next. That's moving now east of Navasota. Navasota, you're in the clear for now. And I'm saying for now because there's another tornado warning just to your south. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning. There's the chance for nickel-sized hail. There is also the chance to see some strong winds and heavy rain. So as we look at the storm winds on that, it does look a bit low, but I want to take you out to now east of Brenham. Brenham, any rotation is now to your east. There's likely still heavy rain and lightning in the area, so we ask that you don't go outside. But where that rotation is that we're watching for you is now south of Earlywine, north of Chapel Hill, and it is moving north and east toward Goodwill, Brown College. We have Daniels, Rock Island, any of these towns that I'm mentioning at this time. It's important that you're getting to your safe place. Now, this tornado warning and the heaviest rain is over New Year's Creek Lane, Old Chapel Hill Road, Myersville Road. We have Early Wine Road, and it looks like Copeland Lynn Springs, Kirkendall, Wendellville Church Road. So any of those areas that I just mentioned, you need to be in your safe place at this time. Now, we are seeing some isolated showers moving towards Sunnyside, toward Katy, into Cypress, likely going to be pushing into Jersey Village, maybe a bit on the east side of town as well. But if we move up to the north, we've been talking about folks that are not in any warnings at this time, but need to be alert. Livingston to Cold Spring, Shepherd, right along 59 here, and really points east of I-45. No, you probably haven't seen much today, but that's because it is moving towards you as we speak. So I do want to mention that we have a canceled tornado warning, meaning they let it expire, and that's in Austin County. Right now, it's just Washington. We are seeing this tornado warning that goes until 10 o'clock this morning. Severe thunderstorm warning in Grimes, as well as Montgomery and a little portion of Walker. But basically, Walker County is the spot that is under the tornado warning, and it continues. We are seeing these moving at 40 miles per hour. But I want to let you know that embedded within any of these storms that we see, you could be seeing flying debris. There's also the chance for tree damage just because of the very strong winds. So I want to just take you out because we haven't gone back toward Huntsville, but the heaviest rain is literally overhead right now in Huntsville. And quickly, I just want to turn on our lightning strike. Okay, 81 strikes. There you go. You can see it really starting to pick up in intensity right now. So I'll turn off lightning and let's go over to reflective velocity rather. And we've talking about all day these winds moving toward and away from the radar, and they are very strong. So what we've seen is that there are these sustained winds that have held their intensity and moved off to the east at 59 and 68 miles per hour. That is very, very strong. Want to let you know that they are going with National Weather Service, a radar confirmed tornado for the supercell near Huntsville. So that's going to be exactly what we are looking at right now. I'm just going to move the camera just a bit here. There we go. Huntsville, just to the north of this. But I want to take out our ruler here and let you know where downtown Huntsville is to where the rotation is 6 miles. That is that is close. That is very close. And these are the strongest winds that we have seen in our viewing area so far this morning. And again, chatting with the National Weather Service over here, and they are saying that yes, there's no spotters yet. It's radar confirmed, different from the one that we saw earlier today that was out in Richards. And again, earlier today, meaning just about 30 minutes ago. But I want to let you know just how strong the winds are right inside. We're looking at anywhere from 44 to 56 miles per hour. But even on the back end, where the rotation has moved from, we are still seeing some of those winds just out to the west. So we talk about folks being in the clear. Bath, you are still not in the clear as we continue to watch this move off to the east. And I want to let you know it does look like a new tornado warning, here we go, is now popping up. Now, when I say new, it's for the same cell, but as it moves off to the east, we almost see it extended, but it's till a new time, 10:15. So we're still going to be seeing this as it has not lost any intensity. But I want to just take a wide view. Let's go out to our viewing area, turn on reflectivity, and about a 30-minute loop here. So this is what we are seeing. A lot going on. 3 tornado warnings and a severe thunderstorm warning. That's on top of the severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 11 in the northern portion of the viewing area, and on top of the tornado watch that goes until 3. So you can see this line. It's associated with the cold front. We talked about it all really week long and through this weekend that it had the potential for not only showers but also severe storms, and that's exactly what we are seeing at this time. So even it looks like another tornado warning just popped up. Let me see. They're saying Grimes, Montgomery, and Walker. Okay, and going until 10:15. So that's the extended one that we had talked about. So I'm going to do something right here is just turn off the laps, but what I want to do is show you where we are seeing the watches. Tornado watch. Here you go. You live in Houston, Atascocita, the Woodlands, Cleveland, even out toward Katy, you're under a tornado watch because of that line that we're seeing that's slowly but surely all going to be pushing off to the east and pretty quickly. So we talked about midday kind of being that peak of activity. And boy, are we seeing that at this time. So I'm going to just turn off the tornado watch again just because it's shaded in that red color. But we are monitoring 3 tornado warnings right now. Let's start with the one that is now moving out of Brenham. Brenham, about 10-20 minutes ago, you were under the thick of it, but now the heaviest rain is toward Earlywine, Sandy Hill, out into Whitman, as well as Goodwill. And I want to show you where the winds are. The exact same place that I had just mentioned are the strongest winds. So we ask that if you are at Brown College, Washington, Daniels, that you're taking your safe place because yes, the rotation is probably just off to your west a little bit, but it's important to note that we are seeing the very strong winds. But I'm going to move you up to the tornado warning. Okay, here's where that one that just popped up toward Blackberry. It was the same area that had the severe thunderstorm warning, but most importantly is this radar confirmed tornado that has just crossed over I-45. We know that I-45 is busy. Folks are going from Dallas down to Houston, and it just went over, meaning these are the strongest winds that we have seen. I haven't seen wind gusts today upwards of 60 mile or sustained winds up to 60, and over Pine Valley right now we are looking at 67 mile per hour sustained winds. So it's important that I come down to street level. We have on the left-hand side of your screen, I-45, Evelyn Lane here. Moving over to Pine Valley, we have Fort Notch Road, Dorrell Road, and then Blackjack Road. We even have Blackjack at Cemetery Road, Southwood Drive. Any names that I just called and you know what I'm talking about means that you need to be in your safe place at this time, as we are seeing this tornado warning now extending into San Jacinto County. The reason being, and I'm going to take us back out to reflectivity, is this is where the heaviest rain is right now. I'm going to do a circle right over Huntsville, Pine Hill, moving into Harmony, but this is going to be moving off to the east. The thing is, where the rotation is, we still have some heavy rain off to the south toward Barado and Pine Valley here. So it's basically 2 areas that we're watching for you very, very closely. So I'm going to clear things out, and I just want to check on the lightning. We always talk about how lightning is a big indicator on the intensity of a storm and where the intense portion is. And boy, you're seeing it right here with about 80 lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes. And if we were to sit and watch this, we'd see a lot more pop up. So we're going to go back to our base velocity as these strong winds just made their way over I-45. But let's take a look at some of the brightest reds that we see are showing the strongest winds, anywhere from 54 to 58 miles per hour. That is intense, and that's not something anybody should be out in as we see this tornado warning continue to move east. So what I've been doing all morning for you is letting you know who is in the clear and who is not. Who's in the clear is Loma, Shingleton, all the way back to College Station. You can see there's nothing going on over here, but everything is moving east and quickly. So I'm actually going to time out some of this rain and storms for you, moving toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So it looks like on Alaska there within about 30 minutes. So we are seeing these tornado warnings really starting to ramp up. And at the moment, we have 3. So again, let's come back out to a wide view so that folks know that it's not just the one area I've been mentioning, but there's another tornado warning now into Grimes, Montgomery, as well as Walker counties. Remember I mentioned that cell over Navasota, that it didn't have a warning? Well, this is the cell that has now pushed off to the east. And if we go to our reflectivity, okay, we're really starting to see some winds pick up. This is in effect until 10:15 this morning. It looks like Dacus there, just to the north of Blackberry. We're looking at winds anywhere from 27 to about 46 miles per hour. So that is looking strong, at least stronger than what we watched, let's say, just about 10-15 minutes ago. Now I want to take you down to the third tornado warning. Again, we're looking for bright reds and bright greens and close together. And right now it looks like this rotation is weakening. So coming down from the National Weather Service, they're saying they're likely going to let this expire at 10 o'clock. So in about 12 minutes from now. Really what we're going to be focusing on are these cells, two areas of rotation, or at least that potential at this time, that are continuing to move east and that are much, much stronger. So again, both of these tornado warnings in question and that we're looking out for are going until 10:15. So again, let me just list off the counties for you, and then we're going to go through some cities. Grimes County, we have Montgomery County, we have Walker County. There's actually two separate ones in Walker County, and then the other one that's up toward Huntsville, also into San Jacinto County. So there is a lot going on with these winds as well as the rain, but we haven't looked up hail threat. And you can see these two areas. Yes, it's small, but it's still an area with the potential for anywhere from nickel-sized to quarter-sized hail is possible. We want to note that any type of hail is not good for your property, your cars, if you have any maybe freestanding overhang on a patio. That's just not going to be good. And that's where we're seeing it between Harmony and Phillips right now. So just to the east of Huntsville. Also, as I move down toward Dacus, and if I can zoom in and see if we have any street names here, Amelia Drive to Private Road, and Johnson Road goes right between the middle. So those are going to be a few areas that we really need to be keeping a close eye out for. But I like to keep taking you out wide because things change rapidly in these types of situations. There is a line of storms, and you can see it extends from Brenham all the way up into Louisiana right now. But the most intense storms are over us right now and over Huntsville, now just to the east of Huntsville specifically. And these are where we've been seeing the strongest winds today. So Pine Valley, you need to be in your safe place at this time, as these strong winds of 60 plus miles per hour. And we want to let you know that this is sustained winds, which is different from gusts. Gusts is just a quick gust and then it's gone. These are sustained, meaning that they are holding true as they continue to move off to the northeast. Now, I want to let you know that the tornado warning, it's not the one that we're looking at here specifically. It's going to be the one that's over Grimes, Montgomery, as well as Walker, Texas. It's important for you to know that there is a radar confirmed tornado. Now what that means is the radar is showing these strong winds that are moving toward and away from the radar in a very close fashion where we could be seeing that rotation. And we need to note that it's moving east quickly, also bringing the potential for quarter-sized hail. So I just want to take you back out because we're also seeing winds over here just north of Montgomery at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. So we're going to go back to our reflectivity, and I want to just once again time it out for you because it's so important that even if you are not in a tornado warned area yet, the chance is highly likely that it's going to be extending into your neighborhood. So folks that are off to the east of Huntsville, you need to take your safe place. Arizona, Dodge, Phillips, Pine Valley, and we even have Gospel City, Staley, Waterwood, all the way up to Cheetah and Riverside. No, you're not under the tornado warning. That continues until 10:15. But guess what? These warnings have extended and will likely continue to. So the Walker County and San Jacinto County tornado warning, quarter-sized hail is going to be possible. And I want to let you know that it is actually slowing down just a bit, which is interesting. All morning long, we've been seeing it move at 40 miles per hour. Right now, it's moving at about 30. Not to say that that really means much, just in the sense that, hey, it might take a little bit longer to get to you. But this tornado warning down near Brenham, they are going to let expire in 8 minutes. So all of our focus is going to be on the cell over Dacus, making its way toward Bath again. You remember we were telling you get in your safe place, and you need to once again. But folks that are to the north, we're talking up toward College Station, Cotton, just to the south of Madisonville, you're in the clear from any potential rotation. The folks that are not is Bath. Now, remember Richards, that's where the initial spotter confirmed a tornado. Well, now up toward Bath, we are seeing the very heavy rain move in. Again, Walker and into San Jacinto County. This is the tornado warning that continues to move off to the east. Huntsville, it looks like you're not seeing much in the way of rain and rotation. Everything is over Phelps and Pine Valley right now. If we take you back out to our base velocity here, we are seeing these winds continue to pick up. So again, you're watching us on television, but there's several ways to watch us as well. Download the Fox Local app, and you can even go on our weather app and even our website. There's so many ways that if you have family or friends, Denise, that are maybe under some of these tornado warned areas and maybe they don't have cable or something, there's other ways that folks can be watching us to get these latest updates.
Absolutely. Our Fox Local app that we've been talking about a lot lately is free to download. And, you know, we've been keeping a close watch on several tornado watches and warnings all throughout the morning. The National Weather Service already confirming a tornado 13 miles north of Montgomery, southwest of Huntsville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Several tornado warnings have been extended. Grimes, Walker, Montgomery until 10:15 a.m. Brenham, Chapel Hill, Washington, Texas. Also, this has been extended to San Jacinto County. A tornado watch in Harris County, Huntsville, the majority of southeast Texas is also here until 3 p.m. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the tornado watch, of course, means to get ready. Tornado warning means to move out to safety. And so this line of storms has been really moving pretty quickly, quarter-sized hail possible in some areas. So we want to make sure that you stay weather aware and are able to find a safe place if anything does develop in your area. Of course, we want to remind you to download our Fox Weather app. There's a live radar there so you can see the alerts in your areas and know whether you need to take shelter. And so we're going to keep watching this very closely. There are some areas that have cleared, I believe College Station, Shingleton. So we're going to let you know the latest updates as soon as they become available. But again, the National Weather Service confirming a tornado in Montgomery, southwest of Huntsville. And right now we're going to check in with Allison for more on the timeline of all of this.
Thank you so much, Denise. And we've been talking about this Fox 26 storm alert day for the last day or so, and that it was going to continue through the weekend. And this is why we called that, because there is the potential for tornadoes, for damaging wind gusts, for property to be damaged. And we deeply care about every single person at home, and we want to make sure that we're here with you to weather any storm that rolls through. And right now, there's a lot of activity going on. Currently, there are 3 tornado warnings, 1 severe thunderstorm warning. We have severe thunderstorm watches as well as tornado watches. So that's going to expand across the whole viewing area. But really, it's these 2 tornado warnings that you see that are blinking in purple. That's because the National Weather Service is saying that these are radar indicated tornadoes. Now, what that means is a spotter has not physically seen a tornado or rotation up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We have weather spotters all across the viewing area, but you know, it just so happens that one wasn't there. We did have a weather spotter earlier this morning out in Richards confirm that there was a confirmed brief tornado there. But what's happening in these purple areas, and that's going to be the polygon shaded in purple, but also this purple color near Dodge, Phillips, and Pine Valley, is where we are seeing the heaviest rain and the strongest winds. So I want to get you right on into these winds, and they're sustained. So difference between sustained and gust is a gust, it's quick. You feel it once and you're like, okay, that was gusty. But sustained is that it's over a longer period of time. And you can see right now that embedded within the initial tornado warning in San Jacinto as well as Walker counties, that we are looking at current winds sustained, again, at anywhere from 38 to 62 miles per hour. So what does that mean? Well, it's very strong winds. We are seeing that moving away from the radar. Some light greens, meaning winds aren't as strong toward, but that's going to potentially create some straight line wind damage. That's definitely a possibility. Not saying that that's going to happen, but if I get you down into street level, because we want to let you know if this is overhead that you are staying alert. We have Jenkins Road, we have Juina Road, Willow Springs Road. So if I zoom out, you can see that this is all happening just to the south of Oakhurst, just to the east of Dodge, to the east of Phillips and Pine Valley. So Huntsville, you are still in this tornado warning, technically, but the rotation has pushed off to your east. Now, let's take you down. Dacus, if you remember just about 15 minutes ago, we were talking about the chance for rotation there. Well, you can see it is now the heaviest rain is off to the east. So let's pop on our velocity scan. And you can see some lakes. There's likely lots of homes on there, folks that are trying to get ready for their Super Bowl party, but you can't. You need to stay inside for this as winds are very strong and again, sustained at 30 miles per hour. Now, these are two tornado warnings, separate. But the interesting thing is I'm actually going to pull out my ruler here. They're about 23 miles apart, and we're seeing them continue to move off to the east, maybe one moving faster than the other. Again, these are just all radar indicated at this time, meaning we have not had men on the ground saying, yes, we've seen rotation, at least with these two warned storms. That was not the case earlier this morning. Just to the south and west of Bath, and you can see north and east of Dacus right here. This light purple pink color is showing the potential for some hail. And with this hail, it could be anywhere from nickel to quarter sized. And any hail it is not good for property. That's going to be a similar story here. Now, okay, just like I had mentioned moments ago, Huntsville, that you were technically in the warning, now you have officially been cleared from the warning. Don't let your guard down though because of that other tornado warning just off to the south, but any imminent threat, meaning at this time, you are in the clear from. But here we go. We're into Dodge. We have Oakhurst, Palmetto Park. I'm going to pop back on our velocity scan, and here is the strongest winds. From 3 Notch Road to Jenkins Road to Willow Springs Road, just south of Oakhurst and Palmetto Park. You need to take your safe place. You see all of these streets here. These are folks that we want to make sure that you are staying weather aware because you are important and we are going to be here with you until these storms do move east. Now, what we haven't looked up is the lightning. Now, that tornado warning down near Brenham has expired because there's one lightning strike and no rotation. But look at these two tornado warnings with these clusters of lightning. Just in this area, we have 124 strikes. The one that is in Montgomery County and moving into Walker has about 60. And then we are seeing probably about 60, if not a little bit more, in the Walker and San Jacinto County tornado warning. So just talking with the National Weather Service here, and we've talked about how they likely will extend some of these tornado warnings. They have been all day. Well, it looks like that they are actually going to be extending this tornado warning here out toward the east. And guess who's in the path of that? Would be Livingston. Now, I want to mention that right now it really looks like the area that we need to be focusing on is here, so maybe go a little bit north, but nonetheless, Livingston could be in this next tornado warning, meaning you're not in it yet, but you need to take cover now. Like I've been mentioning all morning long, that this is a busy day. It's Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Folks are out and about trying to get their shopping done. But if you live in anywhere from Willis to Huntsville to Livingston, Cold Spring, Trinity, really beyond, you need to just stay put. These will move through. They are moving at, let's just see the updated, about 35 miles per hour. So yes, you need to stay inside for a little bit, but a lot of folks in the clear. That includes Brenham, Navasota. Now I want to take you down and let you know what's happening through the Houston metro, because you are under a tornado watch until 3 o'clock, meaning there's still the potential for some severe storms to move a bit closer to Houston proper. Right now, a lot of it's up to the north, but we will be letting you know if anything else changes there. And so it looks like, okay, just like we thought, they extended that initial tornado warning. So I'm going to just turn the watch off here again. It still is in effect, but just so you can see the radar a little bit better, it now has extended. So if you guys want to take me back out on camera just so we can kind of do an overview of everything that's been happening. We have seen several tornado warnings this morning in several locations. Right now it's just 2 areas that we're keeping a close eye out for. One that is now east of Huntsville, but now look, Livingston, like I just mentioned about 2-3 minutes ago, that now you are in the tornado warned area. This is all thanks to a front. And it's been making its way across Texas all night, but now we have the heat of the day. Yes, it's cloudy out there, but temps have been in the 70s. So there's a lot in the atmosphere that can create instability, and that's why we could be seeing some of those spin ups. And we've been showing you our reflectivity, which is right here, which is how heavy the rain is, the lightning. Then we've been showing you velocity. How strong are these winds? Where are they going? And who could be seeing them next? And that's why it's so important that when we say get to your safe place, you're not seeing anything now, but it could be moving quickly. I mean, think, you're driving through a residential neighborhood. What's the speed limit? 30 to 35. Well, that's how fast these storms are moving, as fast as a car could be. So you can't outrun these, and we don't want you to. We want you to stay in your safe place until these do move through, and they will. We were looking at our forecast modeling that I'd say by let's just call it 2:30 to be safe, that everything will be clearing out. But again, there's still a chunk of time between now and then. It's 10:05, and we still have some of these tornado warnings that are continuing for the next 10-15 minutes, and then some beyond. So let's get you out to these warnings. We still have one in Walker as well as Montgomery counties, and then one that's in San Jacinto, and it is now moving into Polk County. So they've been expanding. Now, we say expanding, they're technically new warnings. They let the one expire that has maybe cleared Huntsville, let's say, and then now it's moving in to extend all the way to Livingston. So important to note that you need to download the Fox 26 weather app, the Fox 26 news app. If you have family or friends that maybe live up toward Livingston and New Waverly and even Huntsville, that they need to be in their safe place, but let's say they don't have cable. Well, our Fox Local app is a great option for them. You have a smart TV, well, you download the app and then you can watch us live, even if we're not on the air, even though we are on the air for the viewing area. So a lot going on. We're getting updates every moment. Now, the tornado warning that did include Grimes County, just the portion for Grimes has been expired, meaning it's cleared out, that you are in the clear. But Montgomery and Walker, you are still seeing this heavy rain, very strong winds, and the chance for hail move in. So right now, the lightning count still at about 100. So still showing that it's intense, but I'm going to take it off now and let's get into our base velocity. Here we go. This is showing the strongest winds now between Oakhurst, Snow Hill, Willow Springs, and Darby Hill. We can actually take you out and let you know how strong these winds are. Yeah, we're looking at about 50 to 55 mile per hour sustained winds. And that's what we want to note, that sustained winds means that these winds are sticking around within this storm and you'll be able to hear it. A lot of folks will say that it almost sounds like a train is rushing by because of just how strong the wind is. And I mean, moving at 50, 60 miles per hour, you know, that's exactly how fast cars go. So it is important to note that the winds are strong there. And then it's this cell right here. So we have this tornado warning that goes until 10:15 in Walker and Montgomery counties. And the winds here are strong. Look at this, 25 to 50 miles per hour, reds and greens. Winds moving toward and away from the radar. So we're still seeing that move up. So what I'm going to pop on is our reflectivity here. You can show the wind, or the rain rather, and it's moving quickly. We talked about 35 miles per hour. Similar story here. It's now out of Harmony and out of Phillips and moving into Oakhurst. Now, the area that's seeing the heaviest rain, it looks like it's just north of US 190, Palmetto Park, but the rotation is going to be a little bit further south. We talk about notching or a hook. You know what a hook looks like. It goes down a little bit. And that's when we see a notch, that's where the spin could be forming in the atmosphere. So again, not only are we monitoring those winds, but let me pop up our hail. Doesn't look like hail is going to be an issue toward New Waverly and north of Montgomery, but Oakhurst, we said you have the heaviest rain right now, and you actually could be seeing nickel-sized to quarter-sized hail embedded within this. Now, we're going to take you out, zoom you out right now. Yes, there's some showers down toward Katy, Sugarland, even Houston and Belleville, but I want to let you know the severe threat is north of Conroe into Willis. Folks that are in the clear, Navasota, College Station, Huntsville, don't let your guard down yet, because yes, this cell has moved to your east, but take a look at this one down toward New Waverly, I-45 near Bath, south of Pine Hill. Could be skirting off to your south as we're going to be seeing this continue. So wind is strong in these two areas. And I know there's a lot of boxes and flashing lights, but just note that one tornado warning, New Waverly, goes for another 6 minutes. But now Livingston, that's in the tornado warning that has been extended off to the east, that's in effect until 10:30 this morning. So we still have another 21 minutes on that. It's over Oakhurst right now. Again, mainly out of Walker County. What we need to keep a close eye out on is San Jacinto County and Polk County. Those are going to be the two areas that we need to watch out for at this time. But let's take you in, to the your base velocity here, and let's get some of these winds. Yeah, almost 70 miles per hour. That is strong over Snow Hill. Just to the south of 190 here, you see Stephen Creek. I'm going to try to zoom in. We have Snow Hill, Point Blake, Snow Hill Road, Harrell Road, and this other major road that goes through. Now you know where the water is. Now it's interesting. There's less friction over water, meaning water spouts going to be possible as it moves over this lake. We have Counts Road. It looks like Wilderness Road here, but point blank, you need to be in your safe place, and you should have been, as we've seen a lot of this move through. Now, hail is a possibility. Let me just clear this here. In Palmetto Park, we could be seeing up to an inch in hail. That is not good for property, as we've talked about before. And there's even the chance for some hail now just south of Bath. Let's see the size of this. Also an inch possible. So an inch, let's call it about quarter-sized hail. I think that's a little bit easier for you to envision on what could be happening. But I want to take you back out to our lightning count, showing that the lightning is now extending out from where the heaviest rain is. We're seeing it out ahead. Livingston, I would say that this rotation is going to be making its way up to your north just a bit. So if I can actually draw out the line here, going to be making its way toward 59, Corrigan, even into Chester, and Livingston. You are in the tornado warning, but it looks like that rotation will be off to the north and east. And Denise, a lot going on right now. as we're still monitoring 2 tornado warnings, but there's still the tornado watch. I mean, lots to talk about, but how can folks watch us if maybe they don't have cable, but they need to get this information?
Right, that's right. They can download the Fox Local app. You guys have been hearing us talk about it a lot lately. It is free to download on your smart TV or streaming devices. Right now, though, we do want to let you know that the National Weather Service has confirmed a second tornado, this one in Huntsville State Park. This was around 10 a.m. Also, this could be 9 miles southeast of Huntsville. But anyway, it was moving east at 35 miles per hour. Now, they already confirmed that first tornado, which was 13 miles north of Montgomery or southwest of Huntsville, that one was moving at 30 miles per hour. Several tornadoes have been extended as well. Walker, Montgomery until 10:15 a.m. Grimes County, that warning there has expired. But these are some strong winds, 25 to 50 miles per hour we're hearing, but also some other warnings have extended to San Jacinto County, Polk, and Livingston counties until 10:30 this morning. So definitely be careful. We know it's a big day. Folks are going to want to go out, get things done, run errands, but you got to stay safe. And that's why we want you to stay with us throughout the morning so that you can be aware and know that if something is developing in your area or perhaps somewhere where your family or friends live. So, we have our weather app and Fox Local, and of course we're going to be live all morning long as these warnings and watches are in place. And there is a tornado watch here in Harris County, the Huntsville area, majority of southeast Texas. This tornado watch is until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so definitely just try to stay inside if you can. If there's nothing that you necessarily have to get out to get, just stay inside. But again, we just want to remind you, tornado watch means to get ready. Tornado warning means to move to safety. Of course, we're going to keep you updated throughout the morning. So let's go ahead and get back in here with Allison to take a look at things.
Thank you so much, Denise. Yeah, it's important to note, maybe somebody doesn't have cable, so downloading Fox Local, just such a great option that you can watch us until all these storms are clear. I want to let you know I'm here, and meteorologist John Dawson is on the way in. So we're going to have team coverage for you coming up in just a bit. But just within the last few minutes, we have some updates for you. The tornado warning is set to expire in Montgomery and Walker counties. That is in about 1 minute from now. But we do have a secondary tornado warning with rotation that's moving over Lake Livingston right now. We know a lot of folks live there. You need to be in your safe place right now. That's just the number one thing. But we're also seeing now a severe thunderstorm warning. So that tornado warning that we mentioned down in Walker County has now turned into a severe thunderstorm warning. So let's get you down to it. We've been watching the rotation and it has been weakening a bit, which is great news. I'm just going to turn the lightning off here, but you can see that we're still seeing some pretty strong winds. That's going to be down near New Waverly and Mound Grove. We're looking at winds, again, moving toward and away from the radar, anywhere from 15 to about 40 miles per hour. Now, let's take you up. Here we go. This is Lake Livingston. We are seeing that rotation overhead. Now, that's why we're seeing sustained winds right now at 65 to 75 miles per hour. There is less friction over the water, so things really pick up quickly. And that's when we could be seeing a water spout. If we have any weather spotters out there, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that they say they see. But again, water spouts can transfer onto land and become a tornado. So we're in a little bit of a tricky spot here because we're going to see these winds continue to increase as it moves over Lake Livingston and makes its way into Polk. And now the tornado warning has been extended even further. So let's get you out to our reflectivity and show you that this is now moving into Polk County and Trinity County. Just, excuse me, a little bit of that. So I'll actually do a little track for you here. Let me just look, moving at 35 miles per hour. So you can see it's going to be over 59 soon. We have New Willard. No, you're not in the warning, but you need to be keeping a close eye out on it. Colita, as well as Carmona. So we have a lot going on with this warning. And if you remember, this tornado warning started, the initial one was well to the east of Huntsville toward Richards. That was the first area that a spotter said that they have seen a confirmed tornado. Since then, no spotters have confirmed anything, so everything that we're seeing is radar indicated. But with the winds that I just pointed out over Lake Livingston, I understand why. But here's this severe thunderstorm warning in Montgomery County, Walker County, and it does now extend into San Jacinto County. So we're seeing these move off to the east, and it's only going to continue to move that way. As I just want to take everybody out to a 30-minute time lapse of what we've been seeing, and it's moving steadily. Now, mainly in the northern portion of the viewing area, but you can see that some showers are now making their way into Houston, into Cypress, into Belleville. The thing is, it's just rain and maybe some lightning. I don't have the tracker on right now, but the intense storms, the ones with the strongest winds, with the chance to see any hail, are going to be up here. Now, I want to let you know, Huntsville, you are not in a tornado warning, and from the looks of it right now, I think you're going to be in the clear. There's some heavy rain and maybe some lightning overhead, but any rotation is over Lake Livingston as we speak. So again, this tornado warning, let me see, has been extended until 10:30. Now, coming down from the National Weather Service moments ago, and it looks like it's actually from the Montgomery County Emergency Services, District Number 2, they got a report of marble to quarter-sized hail in southern Walker County on Lake Conroe. So we've been showing you, and actually I'll take you out to our hail tracker. Okay, looks like actually some hail going to be possible right along I-45, and that's interesting. So over toward Lake Conroe there, now just to the east. And the chance for any hail looks to be pretty low at this time in the tornado warned storm. And friendly reminder, there's only one tornado warning right now. I know everything's been changing. There's a lot going on. But we talk about how there's less friction over water. And that's why we are seeing almost 80 mile per hour sustained winds right now. That is strong. And again, sustained, different from the gusts. We're really, again, this is over water right now, so we're going to have to wait until it actually makes its way back onto land by West Tempe, Sandy Dale Lane, Sandy Lane. We have Conway Road. It looks like Triple Creek Loop, Rocky Creek, all the way out to Bold Springs. You need to be in your safe place right now. Again, this is the area with the heaviest rain and the rotation over Lake Livingston. But guess what? It's moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So very, very important to stay inside. Now, again, we're getting reports from folks really across all these counties where we've seen these severe warnings, and we've already seen reports of hail. I'm just waiting to see reports of any, wind damage just because it's so strong. So just to have an overview, there's two warnings right now. One, a tornado warning that does include Livingston, but I want to let you know that it's more like Lake Livingston, just a bit north of Livingston proper. And then a severe thunderstorm warning, which is currently crossing over I-45 between Willis and Huntsville as we speak. So let's take you down. So Darby Hill, point blank, you have family or friends that are there. You need to call them and tell them to get to their safe place right now, because not only are we having heavy rain, but there's a lot of lightning and the winds. But the winds are now strongest right over Lake Livingston right now. We're also seeing, let me grab this hail threat, the potential for hail. If anything, like we've already seen in Montgomery County, reports of marble to quarter-sized hail, but let me just take you out and let you know that it could be up to 1.5 inches. That means it would be bigger than quarter-sized hail. which could cause damage on top of the wind. So there's a lot going on in this, but I want to take you back out to our reflectivity, the rain, and let's see who's in the clear and who's next. So Huntsville, you maybe could get a little bit more rain, but the threat for rotation has pushed off to your east. Hempstead to Magnolia to Montgomery, and then let me track this out for you. Likely going to be making its way toward Conroe proper into Panorama Village. Yep, here we go. Panorama Village in 15 minutes, Willis in 15 minutes, and Conroe in about 25 minutes from now. That is just rain. And let's pop on lightning here. Doesn't even look like there's any lightning strikes with it. So likely not going to be seeing any severe weather, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying right now it looks like the highest threat is going to be north. And take a look at all these lightning strikes. I mean, you can't even see our radar view underneath just because of how many, and I'll give you the exact number, about 80 in the last 15. So that's a lot of lightning. And if I just zoom out for you, we can actually show you where this is heading, because that's going to be most important here. Moving into Corrigan in about 25 minutes from now. So want to let you know that the severe thunderstorm warning, as this has been happening all morning long, has cleared out of Montgomery County, but it's in Walker and San Jacinto now. And this tornado warning is in San Jacinto, Polk, and a little bit of Trinity, but everything's moving northeast rather than north, which would be covering more of Trinity there. So we just ask that you stay in your safe spot. If you're under the tornado warning, you probably got a loud noise in your house, and that's the reason being is because of these strong winds. Again, over Lake Livingston, but you can see it's starting to move over land now. So let's get you some wind speeds at about 74 to 75 miles per hour. That's strong. And again, these are sustained winds, meaning that they are holding true as this continues to march off to the east-northeast. Now, I can see if we can do a little track for just these winds. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So it looks like New Willard, just south of Patonia. So again, there is a lot going on with what's happening in the atmosphere. Now, the severe thunderstorm warning, winds are not quite as strong. And if I can actually take you out, here we go. We're looking at about just north of Hawthorne, about 37 to 41 mile per hour sustained winds. And then here we go. You see that we get a new scan of the radar, and those winds actually did decrease just a bit, which is great. So severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning in effect, though tornado warning until 10:30, Denise. So still a lot going on across Houston, and some folks are maybe out of the woods, but others are not in the clear yet. So it's important that they stick with us on all platforms.
Absolutely, and right now the National Weather Service is confirming a third tornado located over Point Blank.
Thank you.
That's 15 miles west of Livingston, moving east at 35 miles per hour. We did report earlier there was another tornado confirmed in Huntsville State Park. This was around 10 a.m. this morning. And then earlier this morning, a tornado confirmed also 13 miles north of Montgomery, moving east at 30 miles per hour. And this line of storms obviously moving pretty quickly. We've gotten reports of quarter-size hail possible in some areas, so just be mindful of that. Try and stay inside if you can, and just find a safe place while you can. And don't forget to download our Fox Weather app, also our Fox Local app. That's free to download. If you don't have cable, you can download that on your smart TV or other streaming devices. And so far, I believe the tornado warnings have cleared for Navasota, the College Station area, but we've had several tornado watches and warnings throughout the morning. So Allison has been doing a great job staying on top of that. So we're going to check in with her again to see where things stand right now, the timeline of the rest of this. I know some of them have been extended, Allison. I believe San Jacinto, Polk, and Livingston counties.
Yep, we saw it. I mean, just extended moments ago. So it does look like that is going to continue and until, let's see, the timing on that. Now until 11 o'clock this morning, Denise. So we saw these start in, what was it, the 8 o'clock hour? And it's only continuing to move. Now, the interesting thing about this new tornado warning that came out, again, it's in southern Trinity County, north central San Jacinto, and then central Polk County, is that it's kind of thinned out a little bit. And when we talk about these polygons, they know where this rotation is heading. So they can kind of narrow it down to say, okay, it's going to be just in this area of the county, so it doesn't include the entire thing. And the interesting thing is Livingston is still on the border. I'd say the rotation is going to be north. It's more in the northern portion of the lake, but you're still, looks like, yeah, Livingston proper is right here, and this new one is actually excluding you. But here we go. North Lake Livingston, I mean, we're seeing a lot of heavy rain. Colita to Bold Springs. Now, I want to let you know, these are new cities that have just been added to the warning. Moscow, Bering, Seven Oaks, Leggett, New Willard, Marston, Ollie. Camden, you're still out of it, but you know it's moving that way. Bold Springs is still in this. Colita, we have West Tempe. So I've named a city. You live there. You know someone who lives there. They don't have cable. They can download the Fox Local app, and that's going to be one of the best kept secrets that we have, because you don't need cable and you can watch this coverage, which is so important. But I want to get back out to our velocity scan. So this very strong winds have now pushed over onto land. Now, we talked about how there's less friction over water, but now that it's over land and it's still holding true with 73 mile per hour winds, yeah, that's intense. Sustained winds at 73 miles per hour. That's probably what you drive on the freeway. You know how fast that is. And these winds are just going to be continuing to pick up. Now, interesting thing is, we're hearing from one of our weather spotters in District 9, Tim, saying San Jacinto County, SO, so Sheriff's Office, reporting power lines down near Onalaska. So we've been talking about, that was right, let me get this off for you. That's right here. So all those strong winds that we're seeing now over into West Tempe and Bold Springs, if those cause some power lines to be down, that means we could be seeing some power outages. So very important that you are not in the clear if you live in Polk County. I mean, central and northern Polk County. South, you should be fine, at least at this moment. But we're seeing now some of that rain make its way into Houston, Katy, out towards Cypress, and likely going to be moving into the woodlands soon. But it's going to be this that you need to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to draw a big track that includes the storms for the tornado warning and for the severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be moving into Cold Spring in about 24 minutes from now. Chester in 26, and Livingston means you could be seeing some more heavy rain as well as frequent lightning. So very important that folks that are under the tornado warning are staying in their safe place. Now, we haven't talked about hail in a minute, but earlier, and I'm just going to scroll back from the National Weather Service, that we did have reports of marble to quarter-sized hail in Walker County on Lake Conroe. That just shows that any of these spots that you're seeing, these big areas of purple, well, you could be seeing the same, which could cause some damage, anywhere from an inch to about an inch and a half. So quarter size to maybe a bit higher. And we'll be seeing these winds associated with where the hail is falling, heavy rain, but also the winds. And I want to get back out because we just had another scan of the radar. So where we are, Lake Livingston is on the left-hand side of your screen. We have West Tempe all the way up to Bold Springs. These are where the strongest winds are at this time, 76 miles per hour. Now, When we see rotation, it's bright reds and bright greens next to each other. Right now, we're seeing a lot of red, a lot of winds that are moving away from the radar and strong. Now, they've held true and really sustained this from Lake Livingston and now over land. And you can see there's a lot of streets under where we have these 72 to 76 mile per hour sustained winds. So we ask that you take your safe place. And tornado warning means that there is the potential for danger overhead right now, meaning you need to get away from any doors and windows, because if there's flying debris that crashes through a window, then there's glass everywhere. We want to make sure you're safe, so you can go to your bathtub, under a door, an overpass there. So a few other ways that you guys can stay safe. But here we go. We had the latest scan of the radar, and I want to take you out to the brightest colors. Still holding on to 68 to 72 mile per hour. Sustained winds. That is strong. So let's talk about the folks where this is moving right now, and you need to stay weather aware. Moscow to Bering to Seven Oaks to Leggett to New Willard. Looks like Ollie, you're out there. But I would say the folks that need to be keeping an eye out right now are going to be right along 59. So for reference, we have West Tempe and Lake Livingston. This center of rotation has now kicked off to your east. That does not mean you're in the clear yet, but it means that the strongest winds likely have passed off. And we're even seeing some strong winds out toward Bering and Seven Oaks right now. Yeah, about 51 to 65 mile per hour winds. So again, this is a tornado warning that goes for about another 30 minutes. I'm going to take you back out to reflectivity. And here we go. Tornado warning, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Good news is the tornado warning has cleared out of San Jacinto and Trinity. So it's in Polk County right now. And that again goes until 11. And we're going to continue to watch for strong winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour sustained, heavy rain. This rain is falling at a rate of 1 to 2+ inches per hour. Now, I say that and people are like, okay, well, that could mean flooding. Well, that would be if the cell just sat over your house and didn't move, you'd see that much. But it's moving quickly at 35 to 40 miles per hour. So heavy, blinding rain, meaning you're not going to want to drive through this. And also, we could be seeing hail up to an inch, if not an inch and a half. So quarter-sized hail, if not bigger. So that's why we ask that you are just staying put. We know that it's a busy day. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Folks have plans. They need to make food, go to the grocery store, run some errands before the big game. Now is not the time to do that. If you live from New Waverly, so I-45, all the way to Corrigan and 59. And that's a pretty big span, and actually I can take out a ruler and let you know exactly how long from those two cities. It's about 50 miles. But in between those two cities, we're seeing a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning. So, there is a lot that's still going on. For the severe thunderstorm warning, we're looking at 60+ mile per hour sustained winds and then quarter-sized hail. But within the tornado warned area, we're looking at the winds as the biggest concern at this time. So let me take you out to our base velocity here. And here we go. Bold Springs. So moving toward now 59 is where the area of strongest winds is. And we're almost looking at 75 mile per hour sustained winds. I mean, that's strong. And that's why we're saying you need to be inside, because that could easily lift, hey, a tree branch, you were going to get to cleaning it. Nope. That's now heading toward your house. I mean, we're talking about the potential for damage. We've already heard reports from some county officials in San Jacinto County saying that power lines are down from this wind. And honestly, I'm not surprised. At this time, we're not seeing the reds and greens next to each other, which would show tight rotation and where we could, see a tornado. But these strong wind gusts are going to potentially cause some damage in your neighborhood near Bold Springs, moving toward New Willard, Leggett, Seven Oaks. I mean, we've talked about this. Now I'm going to take you out to reflectivity because I want to let folks know who's in the clear. College Station to Navasota to Huntsville, it doesn't look like you have the threat for any more severe storms at this time. And if we take you out wide, we're really not seeing much on the back end as all this action. And I'm just going to take you out to look at our national radar so we can kind of get an idea on what's happening. So let's put this on a quick time lapse for you. The last 30 minutes, we have an area of low pressure and trailing cold front. And guess what? The cold front is over our viewing area right now. That's what's causing these severe storms. But the low pressure system is what's creating, you can see the spin and all of that rain. But out to the west, we're talking the panhandle of Texas, looking at winter weather warnings, meaning snow, cold air. Now, I want to let you know it's not going to be that cold here coming up, but it's all kind of the connection. There's a lot happening across the entire state. So that's kind of where I'm getting out of what, there's not much more rain coming on the back end of this line, but let me tell you, it's going to be intense if you live over it. Now, you can see there's some rain all the way down to Freeport. Looks like Galveston, you haven't seen rain yet, but some's coming into Baytown, Sugar Land, Houston. Friendly reminder that they are all under a tornado watch, meaning there's the chance for some of these storms to turn severe. Right now, it looks like the most intense storms, again, are going to be up just north of Livingston, moving close to 59 there. So I have the lightning count on. You can see that there's a lot of lightning at this time. The severe thunderstorm warning looks to be losing a bit of lightning. Let me turn this off, the loop. But we're still seeing about 10 to 15 strikes, but take a look at where the tornado warning is. That's where the 60 strikes are, and boy, are we seeing it. So I'm going to take off lightning right now and pop on our velocity. Let's talk about the winds. So they're now starting to move away from Bold Springs and move toward New Willard. But take a look. Okay, 81 miles per hour. That is the strongest wind that we have reported on so far this morning. So I'm going to see if I can actually get down to street level. We have Lion King Creek Road. That's just to the east of New Willard. We have Sandy Drive, Bold Springs, and Freeman Road. And again, right here, this main road that's in yellow is actually going to be 59. So very, very strong winds overhead. And if you can see, here we go. We have Bond Road, Oates Road. There's a lot of what looks like houses. Maybe some folks have some land out there. These are the strongest winds. And I'm going to just take you out because we were, zoomed in. But I want to time out this tornado warning. It goes, let's pop on reflectivity. It goes until 11. So we're talking 20 more minutes, and it's going to be moving toward Chester. So we talked about the size of the polygon, here we go. And it's thin, and it's moving toward Chester. So our storm relative velocity is showing, closer to 50 mile per hour winds. That looks a bit, close together. So this is the rotation that we're talking about, that we're watching. The base velocity was just showing how strong the winds were, potentially a little bit higher, but this is going to be what we're keeping an eye out for from Bold Spring to New Willard right here. I'm going to circle it for you. You see all the streets underhead. And if you travel out on 59 and you know exactly what I'm talking about, these winds are going to be moving northeast. This cell to Seven Oaks, to Bering, to Leggett, to New Willard. So a lot going on here. And we have the reflectivity. You can see just how heavy the rain is falling as well. So Livingston, you are in the clear from this rotation. But a friendly reminder that folks out toward Chester and Barnum, 287 and Barnes, you need to be at least vigilant that this could be extending toward you. Now, it just really depends on if we're seeing any, decrease in intensity. And at the time, we're not. But we still have another 18 minutes on this warning. Hail, Definitely a possibility, about 1/4 of an inch. Now, I keep checking with the National Weather Service, and we don't have any other reports of any damage or any hail, but that's right now. I wouldn't be surprised that when things start to, kind of get a little bit less intense, that folks will actually be able to walk outside and say, okay, this is if I've seen any damage or not. But so right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning going until 10:45, so about 3 more minutes. And we have a tornado warning, mainly in Polk County, until 11, so less than 20 minutes from now. But we've been seeing these tornado warnings extend, and we ask that you get to your safe place just to make sure that everybody is aware of what's going on, that you're not going out in these elements. I mean, some very strong winds. So Denise, we're going to send it over to you so you can let folks know how they can watch us, maybe if you don't have a TV or cable.
Right, that's right. You can head to Fox Local and download that free app on your smart TV or other streaming services. Now, we do want to let you know that the National Weather Service is confirming a 4th tornado located near Alaska, about 9 miles northwest of Livingston. This one moving east at 35 miles per hour. Another located over Point Blank, that's 15 miles west of Livingston, moving east at 35 miles per hour. And then 2 other tornadoes confirmed in Huntsville State Park and Montgomery County. And of course, we do want to mention that there is a tornado watch in Harris County, the majority of southeast Texas, until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So be mindful of that. And the National Weather Service is reporting a large hail, baseball size hail in some areas, and isolated wind damage. That's all expected through tonight. So just try and stay inside if you can. Just stay weather aware. Download our app, our weather app, our Fox Local app as well, so that you can stay updated. Now, we are going to give Allison a break. We have JD in right now to get us updated and keep us abreast of what's going on right now. JD, what areas have cleared for the most part?
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I just, again, stepped in here, so it's hard for me to say where we've cleared. Let me tell you what is happening, because that's certainly something that I can jump in on and make some comments as far as what we're looking at. I think the good news to note is that there we are seeing things beginning to clear. So by no means am I want to come in here and say, oh, we've peaked and we're going to be getting better the rest of the morning. I don't want to give that message, but it is certainly good to be able to say, yes, some of our warnings have cleared, and some of them are, again, becoming a little bit quieter for parts of the viewing area. I'm still concerned with sort of that southern line of the storms and exactly where that's going to end up. But what we've got on the screen right now, of course, is where our most active areas are, and we're going to focus on that just in general. For those who are in the Houston area, we're talking about Lake Livingston area is where we're looking at for the intensity that's happening at the moment. So we kind of get a better look here as we see these storms moving in. We've got the current tornado warning, and you'll note that on the top left of the screen there, it says that it's confirmed. This was earlier on. This particular storm was confirmed earlier on, and we'll continue to see that, use that labeling as long as this storm still shows those signs of rotation. They're going to continue to use that terminology of a confirmed tornado. But at the moment, we don't have confirmation that it's literally on the ground there in Polk County, but it certainly could be. We don't want to rule that out as well. If you are near these areas, this is the time that you definitely need to move into your safe area of your home. And if you your plans are to go somewhere else normally, it's too late for that. You need to get to the safest spot as possible right now if you're in this portions of Polk County. You might have noticed that over to the south of Lake Livingston, we had another one of those boxes that were on the screen there. That was a severe thunderstorm warning. And that was for more or less San Jacinto County and Walker County. That one has been allowed to expire. So we're going to see, as we mentioned, sort of some improvements in the fact that we see some less overall coverage, and we are looking at just the one particular one in Polk County. I'm going to go ahead and back out just a little bit so that we all kind of get a bigger picture of what we're looking at here. You'll notice also up near Lufkin, those are some flood warnings that are in place because of some intense rainfall that that happened yesterday and then the additional rainfall for today. If you're in the Houston area and really anywhere inside the Beltway, there's not been a whole lot of rain so far today, and that's great news. We do expect this line of showers and heavy storms to kind of continue to move on through. Probably not going to see the intensity that we're seeing well to the north, but we're going to go ahead and of course keep an eye on things. So we're going to dive in a little bit more and talk about this particular warning that we have. Again, this is in Polk County at the moment. It's north of Livingston, south of Corrigan, and just to the east of Highway 59 there. You'll see that little circle there indicating the intensity of the rotation that we're currently seeing at this point in time. We use our velocity product to help us see that spinning of the winds. Normally when you see a radar, it's showing you where the rain is or where maybe even some hail is. We switch now to look at the winds when we use this velocity product. You'll notice that we're just calling it the storm wind. So when you see the red, that's showing winds that are moving outbound away from the radar's location, which is down near the League City area. So it's quite a bit of ways, but that direction. And then the green indicates those winds that are moving towards it. So that gives us that look at that rotation. And you can see at the moment that highest point of rotation, it's not what I would call large. It's not as intense as what we've seen earlier for sure. But again, that circle taking it all the way down and showing just to the west of Seven Oaks is where the highest intensity is on that particular system right now. And we'll continue to keep an eye on those, of course, as we move on through. The tornado warning here is set to go for another 12 minutes, it looks like. I want to go ahead and check in and see what the Weather Service has some messaging out here that we're looking at. And they're trying to take a closer look at that information as far as the tornado is concerned. There is some possibility. We've talked about this earlier, I know, about some power lines being down. So it looks like there's some reports of power lines down at I-45 in the Huntsville area, as well as 75 South in the Huntsville area. So those are some specific areas that, again, we're getting some reports of some of the damage that's already been done. So that again, it has happened and is over and is moving on out. In the Huntsville area, up here in Polk County, as I mentioned, around Seven Oaks, Bering, Leggett, that's where we're seeing some of those systems right now that are really continuing to really have those winds. So looking at some of those winds, we're looking at 66 mile an hour winds. That again is moving away from the radar, and then we see those moving that are close. So at the moment, it's not showing a lot of those stronger storms at this time as far as where those are. So we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on them and make sure that they are moving away and they are weakening. So let me switch back to what we would normally look at on our radar with our reflectivity, or basically showing that rain. We've talked about the warning. Obviously, that is a huge concern. That is what can really create some damage and some injuries. And the other side of that is that these storms have been very much hail producers as well. And so when you see that pink shading on the screen there that's just to the west of Bering, that's when we're really looking at the possibility of seeing some of that hail that's coming out. So it does look like that the tornado warning has been extended. Once again, you see how these boxes, we've got a couple of them on the screen at the moment, and looks like the newer one, the one that's shaded in red, that's going to be the newest one. That's going to be until 11:15. So we're continuing to track these storms. So of course the National Weather Service, they put out these warnings, and they keep them fairly short term so that it's not just plastering a huge area that's 45 minutes away. And this way they can kind of keep updates going as these storms move, because they're obviously not going to go in a perfectly straight line or exactly where we want them to go. So that's why we have these multiple warnings like that, and they continue to update them as the information continues to come in. So the latest warning is now going to be until 11:15. This is pretty much in central Polk County. This is still at this point considered a radar indicated possibility of a tornado. It's basically located over 7 Oaks, or about 9 miles north of Livingston. And the speed right now is around 35 miles an hour. Now, these were moving faster earlier in the morning, so they've decreased their movement in speed a little bit, now down to 35 miles per hour. This, again, is radar indicated, meaning that we don't have anyone on the ground there near 7 Oaks or Bering that visually sees that and confirms it. We're using it in much further to the west, over on the west side of I-45, as a matter of fact. So we're continuing to keep an eye on this particular system because of what's been happening. I want to look at that velocity product once again here to kind of get an idea of where we're seeing that rotation, and we're beginning to see it basically right on top of 59 at the moment is where we're seeing it, and just to the north of 7 Oaks and just around the Bering areas where that current rotation is. We put this little circle on here to kind of help make it easier to really focus in and see where that rotation is located. I'm going to take it back off now, though, just again now that we've got ourselves centered up a little bit. And when we look at the winds that are, again, moving away from the radar and the winds that are moving towards the radar, we look for some of those higher numbers. We've got 58 mile an hour winds moving one direction, and then moving the other direction we have 30 mile an hour winds. So again, that creates the spin. When you have winds going one way and then winds going another, that makes that motion of that spinning taking place. So we'll continue to get these updates. All right, there's our latest scan that moves on through, and you can see now it looks like the possible spin, whether that rotation, whether that spin is actually in contact with the ground and would be creating damage. We don't have confirmation on it, but it's certainly a possibility. So if you're in Polk County, I hope that you've already moved to your safe location in your house. If you know folks that are just to the east of 59 there around Bering and 7 Oaks, those are the ones that you need to contact. You need to reach out, call, text, get some word. The tornado warning goes until 11:15. Looking at the speed again on these winds, we've got 64 mile an hour winds that are moving away from the radar. We've got even stronger winds that are moving as well, all in this area, and then moving towards the radar. Again, not quite as strong as far as what our measurements are able to kind of bring in with our radar, as far as being able to bring those in, but we're continuing to see that. So that's the rotation. That's where we're most concerned. I do want to take a minute. If you're in this area, I hope you're already in your safe spot of your house. You're telling the people, your loved ones, about it as well. I'm going to switch over to our normal radar product, our base reflectivity. And I just want to back out and kind of get that bigger picture of what's happening across our entire area. The worst of what we're concerned with right now is certainly up in the Polk County region. We've got the tornado warnings that are happening, but we are beginning to see some stronger storms as well move across parts of Montgomery County. If you're in the Willis area, there are going to be some strong thunderstorms and downpours. You'll notice when we get this sort of purplish magenta, if you will, shading that kind of gets in there a little bit, that is certainly a possibility of some hail, and we've seen some hail in the storms as well. So I again don't want to lose focus of our biggest threat, which is right up 59 in the middle of Polk County with our tornado warnings that are happening, but I do want to step back right on top of Lake Livingston right now. You see those again, those purplish, those magenta looking colors, those are where we're seeing some potential hail. So if you're around Lake Livingston, there's certainly going to be a hail threat. You want to be sure and stay inside and be safe. And then, whatever is outside is probably going to get damaged, and you're just going to have to kind of see what happens after the storm. We don't want you to be damaged. If you got what we've confirmed and seen quarter size, even up to 1.5 inch size hail, that will seriously injure a person if you are out in that. So you don't want to go out and try to move your car or try to do something outdoors, unless you're trying to help somebody, a person. That might be a different situation. But again, be safe. That hail can create a lot of damage, especially to you. And we want to make sure that you're being safe there as well. So as we get back to our tornado warnings, we've You'll notice the two different shadings of color there that you see on the screen. You've got the one that's flashing, and then there's this red one that's not flashing. They use that flashing, that purplish color there to indicate that this is not just a tornado warning, but this particular storm has in fact had a tornado warning, a tornado confirmed with it. It's not just a radar indicated warning. It has been confirmed tornado. So when I take a minute and kind of click on that, you'll see that parentheses there and the confirmed, and depending on how you receive warnings on your devices and how detailed it is, you might even see that type of wording again to show the intensity and the severity of that. And then when you take a look at the warnings that are over to the right there, the red shaded one, this is just radar indicated. It hasn't been confirmed. Still need to take it very seriously because it certainly could be happening. We can't have eyes on the ground everywhere from a trained spotter to be able to confirm that. But when we do have that available, some of the possibilities of hail and right to the north of Moscow, you see those that pink shading there. That's representing the highest probability of seeing some of that some of that hail that could be kind of worked into that system. So that's what that sort of pink shading there is going to represent. I'm going to switch back to our normal radar product to show those higher return rates like that indicate the possibility of seeing some of that hail. Let's switch back to our velocity product. This is the one that shows that rotation. It shows wind. So we're not looking at rain or we're not looking at hail. What we're looking at are winds. We just got the latest update. It's about to move out of that warned area that is the purple shading, and now we're looking at that area that's moving into the more of the red. And when we kind of use our tools here to kind of help center up on our extremely high, but you can still clearly see the rotation on where that is, and we'll kind of get in a little bit closer to exactly what we're talking about, not having any others. Looking for maybe some other cities to pop up, but it looks like if you're in this area, you know where Camden is and Barnes and Barnum and where that's headed. So the one warning that just expired was the one that, of course, was set to go expire at 11. So that one has expired. We still have a tornado warning. Looks like they're extending those even a little bit more. I'm going to back this out because I'm interested to see what this latest warning is. This is probably beginning to get a little bit outside of what would technically be the Fox 26 viewing area. So this warning is set to go until 11:15. That's the area up and including and counting all of Polk County. But then when we get a little bit further to the east, we move into Tyler County, and that technically is not a part of the Fox 26 viewing area. I'm sure you could certainly know some people who are in Tyler County, and you would maybe want to informally be watching since we're definitely close to them, but technically not a part of the broadcast area at least. And our focus, again, is back over in the area of Polk County because that's where we're seeing that particular rotation. When I zoom in a little bit, you can see the reds and the greens where those are close together. That's where we see the spin. That's where we see the potential. There's certainly spin in the atmosphere because the radar is high in the air and is not able to actually see what's touching the ground. Then it's sometimes hard to know exactly what we're looking for or where it might be with that, but we'll continue to monitor that. Looks like we are going to have sort of a new warning that's popping up here. Let's get a chance to take a look at that. This is going to be, well, it's going to be a severe weather statement, and I think that's going to be because of some of the hail potentials as well that is coming out with this particular storm. That is back behind the strongest of the winds. Remember, I'm not looking at rain or hail right now. I've still got my velocity product on, which takes a look at those storm winds. I wanted to get in here and get a quick look at some of those actual speeds that we're seeing with those winds. 68-mile-an-hour winds. Again, those are damaging winds. Those are winds to take serious. When they get in that rotation and you start putting that next to winds that are moving the opposite direction, then you've got that tornado and it's even a worse situation. This is not a confirmed tornado, but we're continuing to monitor the tornado warning as it moves on through, and we see that those winds can be damaging. And again, if you're up over 60-mile-an-hour winds, that's certainly something to take as a threat and serious. All right, I'm going to back out and switch to our traditional radar product, our reflectivity north. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute and see about showing the watch that we've got happening across the area right now. And I didn't have that displaying here to begin with. I just have the warning, so I was wanting to get that popped in. I also just wanted to check about some confirmed storm reports. That's always a good idea to see what we're having, and I don't see I guess the Weather Service has not had an opportunity to put any of those specific reports up and on the screen at the moment. We do have lots of lightning that's associated with this storm. We continue to see those numbers move up as the storms are intensifying. As we've discussed, they are getting to the very edge of what would be considered the Fox 26 viewing area, so we're going to see those continue to sort of begin to move off a little bit overall. So wanting to get a look again at the warnings that we're having. We've got two different warnings happening at the moment. We've got a weather statement that's been issued for Polk County. I was looking for that information here. Okay, I found that here just from the Weather Service. So let's see what we've got here. Basically, this special weather statement is just confirming that, again, this is a strong thunderstorm that's going to continue to impact San Jacinto County and into Polk County. Possibility of those gusty winds. They're estimating up to 40-mile-an-hour winds, and penny-size hail is what goes along with the special weather statement there on that one. What we are mostly concerned about, again, would be the tornado warning that is still in place for the far northeast corner of our viewing area, and that's going to kind of keep us on the lookout. I am going to ask Allison Gargara is still here, and I'm having trouble showing the watch, and I'm going to have Allison come over and tell me again if we could get that watch to show up, because again the watch is beginning to improve a little bit. We're beginning to see a little bit overall less coverage of the watch. They're beginning to take a few of those counties out. So we still have a lot of our viewing area under that watch. You can see that it goes all the way into downtown Houston because the line hasn't cleared yet. And I don't think the expectations are going to be that this continues to flare up and strengthen as strong as where we've seen the storms. But we don't want to rule that out possibly at this point in time either. So that red shading is showing the watch that we've got across the area. I'm going to zoom in and kind of move down. Let me take off that warning for a second. That lightning counter, see if we've got some lightning kind of mixed in. We actually don't. That's a little bit of a surprise that we don't have a lot of lightning that's moving in. That's a good sign, though. Again, around Cypress, Jersey Village, those storms are creating some heavy downpours, but lack of lightning that's in those storms. I just had that not going to be relaxing too much. Let me put it that way overall. So let me go ahead and take off the tornado watch for the moment so that we can kind of get a better idea of able to kind of see everything somewhat closer. And the warning, though, is still there. I'm going to give the big picture one more time and show that, yes, if you're in the downtown Houston area, or especially south of downtown Houston, you're not seeing the severe weather that we've seen for our northern counties. More than just severe thunderstorm warnings, we've had confirmed tornadoes that have been across the area. And I was not working when the confirmed tornadoes were down, so we're going to check in with Allison here in just a minute to kind of give us a kind of a replay. The time, just checking in at the moment that we are expecting that the current warning to expire. Okay, Allison has returned, good, and again can just sort of check it. It was really active earlier in the morning, and I know that my mom lives in the Huntsville area, so I was paying attention and I was texting Mom saying it's not time to leave for church. No, because that warning it was on in what she didn't have the worst of it, but the warning did include her house at one point.
That's exactly right. I mean, at times we were monitoring 3 tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings, and the interesting thing was they would just extend out to the east, but then the next warning would be right behind it. Again, different from a quick wind gust county, but right now we're not monitoring any of those storms really starting to pick up any speed. But yes, we did have one actual spotter saying that they did see confirmed tornado. That was down near Richards, and that was the first initial tornado warning, and then there was a second one that came up right behind it. But we haven't had any spotters really see anything else but some hail up to about marble to quarter sized, and that tornado watch that extends, into Louisiana. They could be seeing even bigger. I mean, we're talking up to golf ball, if not higher sized hail, and that's not good for anyone's property.
Yeah, no, that'll damage just about everything, whether it be a vehicle, your house, and again, people. Even if all of our warnings expire, I want to zoom in here and really make sure everyone is aware. This is still an area to be concerned about. Even when the warnings are dropped, if you're around Lake Livingston, I would use extreme caution before making a decision to really need to leave your house right now. I'm not saying that it's under no circumstances should you leave, but certainly, do you really need to go right now would be the question. Can you wait another 20 to 30 minutes to kind of let some of this clear? Livingston, Cold Springs, even if I was in Onalaska on the north side of Livingston, I would wait for a little bit longer because those storms are still happening. And we're still watching the potential for a tornado warning that's up in the very far, you see that in the very corner here, where 287 and 59 kind of move from San Jacinto, from Polk County over into Tyler County, and then that Tyler County continues. They're just now adjusting even the warning that goes along with that. And
today, Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
So many folks are saying, I gotta go get, extra chips, whatever it is. Just wait. We promise you this will be moving out in time for the game, and I promise you one of your grocery stores will still have the chips. It's not worth going out right now because we've been seeing just how strong these winds are. And now, right on the edge of Polk County is kind of the end of where our radar actually goes out to. So, and it's like JD mentioned, moving out of the viewing area, but still not ruling out the chance of rain to drive through. You won't be able to see the roads anyway, so please don't go out yet. These are moving really quickly, 35 to 40 miles per hour. So, yeah, just like JD said, give it 25, 30 extra minutes, and then you should be okay. Again, right now it's just this tornado warning that expires in about 3 minutes from now, but we've been seeing these special weather statements, meaning, hey, we're still looking out for the winds or the pea-sized hail, but those have actually dropped, it looks like, at this time, which is good news. But again, still some of that heavy rain all the way down toward Conroe, even Woodlands right now. Looks like Cypress, maybe, a few more sprinkles, but that's all going to be moving toward I-45.
Yeah, and I was just sort of wondering, most likely if this warning expires as we want it to in about 3 minutes, we'll probably kind of begin to wrap up our on-air coverage. We're going to continue to keep you updated with our social media and Fox Local and some other ways. But as I'm hopeful we're beginning to sort of end our coverage that we're going to have on air here. I just want to point out that I'm pleasantly surprised. I really thought that these storms into Montgomery County would be stronger. I'm going to turn this lightning counter back on again to sort of show it's not as simple as where there's lightning, there's stronger storms. But there is some correlation that kind of goes along with that, and it is a really simple, quick way to kind of see where the strongest of the storms are. You almost always are going to have that lightning with the stronger storms. It doesn't always correlate with like where a tornado is or where hail is, but again, it's a very general way to look. And when I see no lightning at all in Montgomery County,
only up toward New Waverly, really.
That's a good thing. We like that. We could celebrate a little bit this morning and say this is what we want to see. And again, I'm admitting I'm a little surprised at how these storms, they're strong, they're intense. I don't want you to just jump out and go driving around right now in Montgomery County, and when you've got in the Woodlands and Woodlock and even Conroe where you've got these intense storms. Let's wait a little bit longer, but it's a good sign as far as where we're headed with all of these storms at the moment.
100%. And we talked about yesterday and even on Friday that today was a Fox 26 storm alert day, and we're still getting into getting folks at home used to what that means. But when we say that, we mean that there is the chance for, damage in your neighborhood, for these tornado warnings to move across our viewing area. So we just ask that when we say that, you're like, okay, maybe I'm going to put my plans on hold. But the good news is we were talking about all weekend long that your Super Bowl plans will be good to go. These will be cleared out by them. There's no question on that. So you can kind of breathe easy, but again, wait just a bit longer to go to the grocery store, get those things that you need, or you need it to run errands. Just sit tight until everything clears out, and then you're going to be good to go this evening.
And we're looking here at these storm winds once again. Shows that rotation where we're seeing the potential for a tornado, whether or not whether these rotations are on the ground or just up in the air. But you'll notice that it is moving into Tyler County and leaving Polk County. So as Allison mentioned, the radar, the effectiveness of it kind of extends out only a certain distance, and so some of the specifics of it begin to get lost somewhat, and that's why we sort of turn this over to another area, another National Weather Service office, as well as another viewing area for television stations as well. So certainly beginning to see that rotation make its exit from the Fox 26 viewing area. We still have the warning. It looks like they did adjust that a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, it looks like they just extended in number 15.
Yeah, just barely keeping parts of Polk County included in that.
Which, and you can see, we talk about the heaviest rain being that purple pink color, and I mean, it's barely into Polk County. And I would say the chance for any of that rotation probably kicking out to Tyler. Now, what they do sometimes is the polygon that you see shaded in red there, they'll actually kind of take away from cities as the threat moves out. So yes, this goes until 11:30. Wouldn't be surprised if they actually take Polk County out of it a bit earlier. Definitely a possibility, and definitely something that we've seen with these storms moving through this morning. So,
and I was just looking at this discussion from the National Weather Service. They went ahead and issued that 15-minute warning on that small chunk of Polk County, but they even identified the fact that it probably won't last that long. They're just sort of kind of covering their bases a little bit with that extra 15 minutes. I think if they could issue a 5-minute one, they probably would have done that. But they have that. It's the hail potential as well, and sure enough, half-inch hail possible.
Yeah, and I will say I've seen it up to about 1.5 inches possible. So we're talking about how we're not seeing as much light, but I actually want to just zoom out and something interesting. So let me find where these tornado warnings started. So it was just to the, east of College Station and Brenham, New Waverly, and they're all the way up here. So if we just do a rough estimate of the distance, 85 miles. Now, want to mention, that's not that a tornado was on the ground that entire time. I'm not saying that at all. Just saying that these tornado warnings started so far west and have now moved all the way up to the north and east. And that's really what we've been talking about all day long and all week long. I'll quickly turn on where the tornado watch is. So you can see it's still across the entire viewing area, but Brenham, Navasota, Sealy, probably even Katy, I'd like to say you're pretty much in the clear, maybe a few lingering showers, but any severe threat looks to continue off to the east. So yeah,
I would say for sure, if you're in Washington County, Austin County, Colorado County, again, these watches belong to the National Weather Service. I'm not controlling them.
Correct.
But I think they would agree that those counties, those far western counties, are much better looking right now and would be something where I would say it's okay for you to venture out if you need to go grab that bag of chips or whatever it is that you're trying to get to the last half hour of your church service or something along those lines on this Sunday morning. Go ahead and make that happen. But this is interesting in the fact that we had mentioned that today we had planned that today was a Fox 26 storm alert day. Actually, it was a weekend, right? Yep. Saturday and Sunday. It was more of a flooding threat yesterday, and we knew this front would be moving through and creating the potential for a much stronger storms. But they did flare up a little bit quicker, I think, even than especially what some of our computer modeling was showing. Some of our computer models really struggled with this particular line of storms, and so it was interesting to see how quickly it flared up, how organized it got, and I was ready for it to go a lot further to the south, and really, I thought for sure that the Woodlands and parts of Montgomery County were gonna see some of the same of what Huntsville saw, and I'm thankful at the moment it doesn't look like that is going to be able to kind of continue to make happen.
I totally agree with that, and even the timing of it. So I was watching these severe thunderstorm warnings early this morning. I mean, we were on the air starting at 5, and they were way out west. Nothing tornado-wise, but you know, the second the sun comes up, and it was warm when it was dark out, but the second we're seeing some of that instability just rise in the atmosphere, it was just all the ingredients came together at one time. But I'm taking you out wide to what we're seeing, not only across our state, but other states north and east of us. This is the front that we're seeing move through, but the area of low pressure on the back end bringing winter weather warnings to the panhandle of Texas. I mean,
I talked about my mom being in Huntsville, right? And I was watching that. Well, my son is in Lubbock. That's right? So I was texting him yesterday, hey, there's and he was like, I know.
Get your jacket ready.
He goes, I know, but it's like 55 degrees and mild. And I said, no, it's tomorrow. We were really getting focused. And he knew what was happening with it. But yeah. So it's like, this storm system is just really giving my family the blues right now with, again, the winter storms happening up in the panhandle. And then good news, I'm checking here with what the folks at the National Weather Service, I believe they have allowed, or they will allow, that warning to expire, that one last short warning that was up in Polk County. Going to let that expire, and that will be the last of our area that's under that warning. And as you mentioned, we're going to turn it over for some other folks who still are in for a long day.
That's exactly right. And this morning, if you were with us on the air, and even last night, today our outline for severe weather was 2 out of 5, so a likely risk. Well, that's been since upgraded to now a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. And it's kind of, we think of it as a bullseye, so you can kind of see, but it's not just a circle. I mean, it extends from Texas and all the way, not quite into Alabama, but you can see it's spanning 3 states, and that's going to continue overnight tonight. So you have family or friends through portions of these cities that you're seeing this orange color specifically, let them know, hey, this is what we saw in Texas and potentially could continue and maybe even get worse out there. So just important to note that we are seeing the tail end of this, but other folks definitely not the case. So I guess let's see what's happening. If it's definitely out of Polk County,
I think they're going to let it go. They're going to
let it go another 8 minutes.
I don't think they're going to cancel it necessarily, but let
it expire.
I am reading here that they've expired it. So let's see. We'll just wait for our graphics perhaps to update. Maybe we need a second here. The tornado watch is still in effect, though, for a good chunk of our area. So that hasn't been changed that much. But we're going to kind of keep an eye on that particular warning. And it was a very active morning for you here this morning. And I'm glad that as we've talked about, when we need to be on the air, on the broadcast side of things, we're going to be on the air. We're going to be broadcasting. I think you guys started off with the Fox Local, right?
Yes, we did.
And then when it got more intense, you switched over. So that Fox Local is a great way to basically see anything that's coming out of our studios here. And if we're doing some reports, we'll, even though we're broadcasting, you can still see what's happening with that. And then also we've talked about that what you're seeing, the Fox Local is for your smart TVs, right?
Yes.
And for your devices, though, if you're out and about, you're not at the house, you have Fox 26 weather app. It's really better than the news app, but not that it's contest. But the Fox 26 news app, both of those apps, there's 2, one for news, one for weather. Both of those allow you to also see whatever we're doing here out. And then, of course, Fox,
live stream.
If you're old school and you just want to go to fox26houston.com, you could do that as well.
All of the above.
Yeah.
But our weather app is really great because we have an interactive radar feature. So we were talking about, folks, who's in the clear? Where are these storms going? And the interactive radar does a really great job at, you just get on your phone and you just zoom in to where you live. okay, this is coming. You can see. So it just does a great job, and you can use it wherever you are across the country. My parents live in Michigan, and they use that app, the Fox 26 weather app. So it truly is a great resource. And, you know, Fox Local is just awesome because we have different protocols of when we're going to be on the air if we are under a tornado warning. But hey, if there's a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings, then we can just get on Fox Local and let you know. So it just really is great. And I think great news that as we get off the air, we're not leaving you with much lightning, maybe some heavy rain over Conroe crossing over I-45, but everyone else looks like it's just going to be light showers through Houston.
Yeah, we're sort of here more or less waiting here to this last tornado warning has expired. It looks like that's going to go up for a while until 11:30. So we got about 5 minutes left on that, and after that we'll probably end our coverage as we talked about. But I do want to, if it's possible, to show our 7-day forecast. We've got that on a different computer system
on Max 3.
Yeah, it's on Max 3. So if we're able to kind of show our 7-day forecast here in a second, I do just kind of want to give that idea of kind of where we're heading with everything. This 60% chance of rain has been focused on the morning. And while we're not done, especially if you're in downtown Houston or even further south, Galveston, Mardi Gras festivities still going on. Galveston was never included in the tornado watch, and certainly rain a possibility down in Galveston, but the severe element has not included necessarily in Galveston. But rain is still something I would say as even as far as maybe 3 p.m. we could see a few showers. Not the intense storms that we've seen, but rain. Just plan for rain if you're heading out into the Galveston area. And so really it's going to take a while to transition. Allison, we were looking at that rotation that's happening with this large storm system, how it's bringing the wintry weather over into the panhandle. That's going to keep us not in the clear with sunshiny skies until really tomorrow afternoon, as far as that kind of extended range goes a little bit. But
we'll actually be waking up into the 40s. And
yeah,
I mean, because Mike was out on vacation. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, upper 60s, low 70s. I mean, talk about not needing a jacket in the morning, but we're actually going to be seeing some of that cooler air. But I wouldn't call it cold by any means, you know, afternoon highs in the 50s. But it's so great that we get to be in tandem with the National Weather Service. They're saying that the tornado watch, they're going to keep until noon. So another 30 minutes and then reassess. See where these showers are. Is there lightning? Are there still some strong winds? You know, that's kind of what they're thinking. But I would say folks out College Station, Brenham, and really points just south of that, I think you're going to be good to go to do the church services and such.
I was just, you know, I was kept waiting for some storm reports. You know, typically we get those from the Weather Service, and we didn't really get a whole lot of those this morning. They really do like to confirm and assess that before they start pushing out a lot of, you know, this is a fact or whatever. They want to confirm it was one before they start saying that. But I am seeing some discussions about more damage on Interstate 45. It looks like they listed at mile marker 107, which is interesting that they're listing mile. And I drive back and forth to Huntsville enough. I'm trying to remember, where's mile marker 107?
Yeah, it's not something you look out for.
I think that's going to be around the state park, though. If I had to guess, you know, where that is, and maybe you're there at the house and you know exactly where it is, that's good. But I'm going to guess that's around Huntsville State Park, maybe a little further south, closer to the New Waverly, perhaps. You know, I'm just kind of.
Well, that's
where the strongest storms move through, right?
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I mean, some of those winds were upwards of 60 miles per hour. So, not surprised at all by that. And you know, the winds can cause power lines to go down, trees to go down, even in neighborhoods. You know, maybe it's trash day. I don't think it would be on a Sunday, but maybe have your trash can out. That could be down the street. So.
And now we're getting more information. And the first local storm report, actually, that has been issued, looks like there's some pictures on social media that confirm New Waverly is where we're seeing some damage along I-45 with some limbs down and a roof removed from a barn.
Wow.
So that is kind of where we were guessing.
Yep, exactly right. And I know that we have a crew that's actually on their way toward Huntsville, but we're saying, hey, you're probably going to find some damage between here and then, and that's exactly what it is. So we'll definitely have more updates. Oh, and it looks like even some dime-size hail reports out toward Huntsville. So, you know, like JD was just saying, these are all going to start coming in. folks are out of the tornado warning so they can actually get out and see the damage. So we're going to continue to bring you those. And it looks like, less than a minute now, well, less than 10 seconds now.
Yeah, before we go, I do want to kind of, again, just sort of remind everybody, we're going to stop our coverage here because the tornado threat is not happening at the moment. But our rain, it's still out there. And some of those downpours are enough to kind of get your attention. If you're out in the Sugar Land area, I probably don't need to tell you that. You know that the rain is coming down. Those are pretty intense storms that are out in the Sugar Land area right now. I will, as we've talked about, go ahead and flip on that lightning counter. It is I'm good that we're not seeing a lot of that, and just kind of look at this. The further south you go, the less organized this line where the front is taking place.
Yeah, really starting to fall apart, which is great news.
We like that for sure. Woodlands, central Montgomery County, still staying active. Conroe's got a storm on top of it right now, and then out a little bit more into Grangerland. Towards Cut and Shoot. I thought that Cut and Shoot would be getting some rain out of this for sure. And then here's some more of that lightning up near Magnolia and continuing to move up into Cold Spring and Livingston, where we've already talked about some of the strongest of those storms going. And it does look like that we have cleared the Fox 26 viewing area.
That is great news.
Of the warned areas.
Yeah, I mean, it's been busy since, 8-something this morning. So we want to thank you guys so much for sticking with us. And just so you know, anytime this happens again, we will be here for you in the Fox 26 Storm Center. It's so important to make sure that every single one of you is staying safe out there.
All right, stay connected the rest of the day.
Over there, get to that line over there. And instead of standing up there saying, no, this the fool who didn't match the party's policies and rules, but that's not what they said.
Rally was very, very long. It took hours to get inside, and it lasted until about 7 o'clock at night. And then other rallies happened from 7 till about midnight or 1 in the morning at nightclubs. So you can imagine how tired people are right now, but they better get their rest in, get up early, get something to eat, and get on down here because it is going to be just packed. And before I send it back to you guys, we just got some information from the Caesars Sportsbook. I want to read you some of these bets, okay? Stay with me here.
Which
$100,000 on the coin toss to be tails. That's one of the bets. $136,000 on the Niners money line, meaning for the Niners to win. Then it keeps getting higher. $200,000 on Brock Purdy to be Super Bowl MVP. $500,000 somebody bet for the Niners to win it. $668,000 on the 49ers to win by 2 points or more. And the biggest bet we have heard so far, just confirmed in the last few minutes, $1 million for the Niners to win.
All right.
On the money line.
Wow. They're going the right way. I can say that much.
Yeah, so if that does happen, the payout for that is going to be $833,333.33. Can you imagine if you're that person and the Niners win tonight? But regardless, I will say this. Brock Purdy, the story he's had since last season and this season is amazing. A lot of people are really rooting for him and hoping that he pulls this win off tonight.
I mean, I'm stressed out watching a game. I have no idea what it feels like to have that kind of money on the line and watching that game. All right, Christina, huge numbers. Thanks so much for that report. We appreciate it.
All right, the 49ers have just one official Bay Area watch party, and it's outside Chase Center in San Francisco. KTVU's James Torres is there right now with a look at what we can expect today. James?
I don't think anyone's spending $1 million out here, but we're certainly going to see lots of fans in just a few short hours here. You can see behind me, we're at Thrive City, just outside Chase Center. Last night, really buzzing. I mean, the Golden State Warriors had a fantastic game over the Phoenix Suns just last night. But now we're transitioning from basketball into football. Not just any football game, of course, the Super Bowl rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. We've got the setup going on here. We expect the stage to be a little more flashy in just a few hours. We'll see some live performers here and a number of different places where you can get food and drinks all while you watch the big game. Let's also take you over to the Oakland Airport, because earlier this morning we saw some fans taking the really early morning flights from the Bay Area to Las Vegas. And some of the guys that we spoke to today say they're not going to the game, but they are going just to feel that Super Bowl buzz in the air.
It'll be either a amazing ride home or a very quiet one, which, let's hopefully it's loud and rowdy, and I'll be red-eyed and bloodshot eyes for Monday morning to get back into regular life.
And if you are coming, planning to make your way over to Thrive City for this watch party later today, doors here will open at 2 o'clock, about 90 minutes before kickoff. In order to be here, you would have had to have registered earlier this week. And as you can imagine, once the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl, those registrations filled up quick. I'm pretty sure they are sold out at this point. Now, Frank, Claudine, and Sal, I have never lived in an area that had a Super Bowl contending team